My name is Abhishek Jain and this video is in a continuation with the previous one, so I would highly recommend you to please watch my previous video. In the previous video we understood how we can capture the resource consumption for any running container with the help of a docker stats command and the shell script, and we wrote a small shell script and we saw that there was some cleanup required before we can actually feed in that data to any monitoring tool, right? So my aim was to just clean up the data, all the collected cleanup data into the CSV file. So what we're gonna do today in this video is we are going to just do the cleanup and we are going to convert that data into the CSV file, and in the next video we will import that CSV to the Postgres, and from there we're gonna just represent all the collected data points on the Grafana. So let's quickly see what we had written in this last video and what the report looks like. So we have created this report in the previous video, where we saw that we have this container ID is coming for all the data points which we have collected here for the 10 seconds, right? So now we need to remove that. This is not the only thing which we have to remove, but we have to remove the spaces. Okay, we need to remove this percent symbol, we need to remove this forward slash, right? So we need to just clean that up everything, and we have to create a CSV file for all these columns, right? So let's check how we can do that. So let me just quickly open the script which we had written in the previous video. Okay, so the very first thing which I wanted to make in this script is, let me just increase the font. I want to remove this hard-coded time duration, and I can just accept this as an argument from the command line. The next thing which I would like to do here, let me just put the echo so that you can see what exactly going on with Docker resource consumption is being captured for, let's say, only a CPU utilization. I don't want to just capture all the columns which we captured in the previous video. So let me quickly explain how we can do that for the CPU utilization, and similar way or likewise you can do for the rest of the columns, right? For CPU seconds. And now, since we need to we want only the container ID, container name, and the CPU percentage, and we don't need that man uses net.io or the block.io and the PIDs. So what we can do is we can use a Docker stats with one option that actually help us to format the output of these stats command. Since we don't need the header or the column name, what we can do is we need only the container ID. Okay, and we need then comma separated data, so we are just putting comma, then I need name. Okay, and then I need, let's say, CPU pers, and we are fine. Just put this into double quote. Something is wrong here, so let me just change. Should be fine now. Okay, and I have to just, okay, so now this command gonna do is this command is gonna just output the resource consumption only as a CPU percentage utilization. That's it, right? And it is going to be stored here, right? But the other thing which we have to do is, you have seen that we have removed by doing this, we have removed those extra spaces and everything. Now the data which we get, it is going to be a comma separated, and we can quickly run and see that. The next thing which we have to do is, if you would have used any kind of the monitoring tool, most of the tool requires, let's say if I want to run for a 20 seconds, right? So if everything, oh, it seems like I just made a mistake, so let me quickly fix that. Oops. Such. Okay, so the mistake I made here, since this format filter use the Go template, and for that we have to put this dot. I think now we should be fine if I run this again for 20 seconds. Yeah, So this time it will work, right? The next thing which we need to do is we need to see whether, now we will see the data and see whether we need to do some more cleanup or not. But if we don't need to do any kind of cleanup, then we need to just append, the timestamp for each record, right? And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to utilize the ts command from the more utils, and you can just search for the search on the Google like ts command for from more util, and that is very handy when you want to append a time stamp for all the records in a file, right? So let's see our report. So now we have this consumption report. Okay, so let me just reduce the font, and it has appended the data. Now you can see this is the data which is just get appended, and we will just make another file so that we get a new one. But the problem now is we are getting this percent symbol, right? So let me just increase the font. So we need to remove that. There are many ways you can do it, but what we're gonna do is we just gonna keep creating our shell script intelligent so that we can just remove that, right? So removing that, what I'm gonna do is first I'm just gonna make this as a temp1. Okay, and then I'm gonna use this temp1 file to remove. I'm just gonna use a set command, and I want to remove a percent symbol with nothing. Okay, so let me just give the temp1, and I want to output this into, let's say, temp2. Okay, so now let's run this and see what result we're gonna get. But let's quickly run that, but this time we're gonna run that for let's say for 5 seconds, because I think we need to do some more cleanup as well. I don't know, I mean, because this is something which I'm doing for the first time. So if we get some more data to be cleaned up, then we can quickly check for that. So let me just quickly see this temp2. Okay, so we don't have percentage, and the next thing which we need is we need a timestamp for all the records, right? So for that, what we're gonna do is let's quickly open the shell script. Okay, and so as I mentioned that I want to use that for all the data points, so we have to change here itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just feed in this, I'm just gonna use a pipe, and I'm just gonna use this ts command, right? And I have already captured this ts command. Then you have to just give the format, like, I mean, which format you want to just append the timestamp. So this is the format which I want to use, right? So year, month, date, and hours, minutes, and seconds, right? So I think I just missed that capital S. Yes, I think now we should be fine. So if I just run this again, let me just do this for now. So we will get the fresh file, fresh output basically. Okay, and let's quickly run for 5 seconds again and see if we need to do some more cleanup or not, right? If not, then I think we should be fine. Okay, so let's quickly see the final file, which is our temp2. Okay, and now we see that the timestamp has been appended. The next thing which we have, which I can see, is comma then space, so we need to remove that as well. So what I'm gonna do is let's quickly open the shell script again, and you can do whatever way you like to do it, but in my opinion, we can just do this again, and you can merge both the commands. I mean, because at the end we need to do this. What I can do is I can just copy the same and put it, let's say 3. Oh man, 3. And I think this is the last one which we have to do, and we have to feed in temp2, and we need to replace this comma space with comma. Then we should be having correct data which we want to import to the Postgres. Okay, so let's quickly run that again. This time let's say run for 6 seconds. LTR, and this time we need to just open temp3 and see. Okay, so now we have timestamp, container ID, container name, and the CPU utilization, right? So now that's it from my side for this particular video, because I just wanted to convert everything into a CSV file, and from now we are just left with only 2 steps. We need to import this data to the Postgres, and from then we need to just import the Postgres data to the Grafana so that we can create a very beautiful graph out of that, and that would give us the how the CPU utilization is actually trending, and based on that we can decide how much resource we need to allocate from the CPU perspective. And the same process you can follow, and the same is silent script you can modify for other column as well. You can create a one file for all the columns